Guys, this is inner circle private, never to be made public. Why? Because I'm about to reverse engineer some actual gurus. So this recording is only for inner circle members and it can never be shared with anybody because I'm using somebody else's copyrighted material to break it down. And I believe in doing so that this should only ever stay within an inner circle setting. Does everybody agree with that? If so, type yes into the chat, please. And for anybody who's thinking, yeah, but Nicola, why not? I have respect for other people out there, and I could strip this down and put this out and sell it as a little um, thing, but this has people's names in it, okay? I'm about to reverse and show you reversing of Tony Robbins and Dean on the actual advert that they are doing right now to show you. So, how does this like pan out for everybody else? Because if you only had one sign up thing on your social media, maybe you had your sign up thing like where it could go straight to one page, and that page is what would take them to where you want them to go. So imagine everybody can have this. Okay, this could go to one page website. And for the people who are running, say, masterclasses, or so this is not to sell a digital product. You can sell a library of them, but this is like much more advanced. And if anybody wants to ask any questions, because this is 100% in a circle, it's not something I'm recording that will go out there, ever be live on a YouTube or something like that. It will only ever stay within an academy setting. Please feel free to just unmute yourselves at any time, stick your hand up so I can see it, and like stop me and ask any questions. Okay, guys, is that clear? The reason I say that is because I don't look at the chat, right? So whatever nonsense some of you are having sometimes inside the chat, I don't look at it. So what I'm going to do first of all is there anybody here who doesn't understand the word funnel? So if I had to ask somebody what was a funnel, could anybody unmute themselves and tell everybody um what it is?
You always tell us it's a sequence of words,
Yeah. Okay.
very simply.
Yeah. How easy is that in your brain?
Mm.
It's a sequence. It's a sequence of words. Okay. A sequence of words for what?
To get people to either react to something, to do something, to take action of some sort, whether it's buying, signing up for something.
So that's it. It's basically to get
Mm.
people to sign up for something. So what I am doing, okay, is there anybody who, apart from actually, Rachel, tell everybody because we're going to see it, tell everybody what is going on and what you're going to be doing with this funnel.
Well, I'm having a look at what you've sent me from the gurus, and I'm going to try and create my own funnel to sell the product that we're going to be offering in the trainings, etc.
And is anybody else got anything else they don't understand about the word funnel? Is there anybody who doesn't have a clue and who's still completely like, oh my God, I don't know what this is? Ooh. Perfect. Now, Rachel, tell everybody, because we've been dealing with you at the moment, what was the ultimate thing from the funnel that you wanted?
Well, ideally, what I would like to be doing as an end goal is running retreats for people that want to either create their own retreats the first time or maximize the sales of their retreats if they're possibly not working as well as they want them to. So starting off with having a free masterclass, selling PDFs, videos, the 21 videos for £21, and then possibly selling an ebook version, and then having more one-to-one sessions online with people, and then finishing with the retreat with multiple people.
I'm going to ask you to say that one more time.
Oh God. Okay, so
And then I'm going to
starting
and
with
then I'm going to tell you why before.
okay, okay. So would be offering a free offering to start with, and then selling products from the free offering, the PDFs, maybe the recordings, and then selling also the 21 videos for £21 as a side to that. Possibly then an ebook. So everything we've gone over in the masterclass, it's just kind of like rinse and repeat, but you'd sell the ebook, and then selling more time with ourselves. If people want to work more one-to-one, and then in-person retreats.
Guys, can we do this as a hands up? Who's confused? Don't be scared. Okay. Who would like to know what's going to happen? There are going to be two links on social media, one that lets you buy 21 videos, the two that lets you sign up for an online event. That will take 3 hours. It will show you how you can make money during a retreat, how you can make money before the retreat and fill it, and how you can make money after the retreat after you've done it. That's it. What did I just do?
You made it more concise and direct.
I sold the outcome.
Yeah.
I'm only describing the outcome. Everybody is obsessed with the process. Look how Bianca always explains what she does. I get them here. I do this. Not, okay? So, can you see this is so important to get this in your head? The outcome. Why do we do a funnel? Why do we write words? For what reason? Why are we writing this? I'm going to put money behind this advert because I can't be bothered doing it organically because I have a busy life. Or I'm going to put money behind for this advert because I've never followed Nicola's instructions and built a gossip viral group that fills an area on Facebook or anywhere with people who might buy my offer this month or 6 months, 12 months. People are not going to fill the groups. Need to work harder organically. So I'm going to put money behind this. Before I put money behind this, there needs to be an outcome. So what I'm going to do, has anybody seen online the AI Advantage Summit that is getting run at the moment by Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi and many other people? Hands up, just hands up if you've seen it. Okay, so do people understand this is a sales program. It's either call it a challenge, call it a masterclass. It is a virtual event to get you to do something. Everybody agree? Now, so before I go any further, I am just going to share their sign up at the moment. Okay? So, and we're going to go through this. So here it is. AI won't replace you. And it goes through all this information. Okay? Every single piece of this information, I can guarantee you probably took maybe 100 to 200 hours by a full team banging this out before that became what it is today. Okay? So now it's quite a short one compared to what they usually do. So what I'm going to show you, I am going to open up where I show you this reverse engineered. So why have I done this? Because to show you this reverse engineered, what this does is this gives you, I'm going to just move, yep. I don't want to share too much at the beginning. I don't want to wreck your heads. So can everybody see this? Yep, cool. Right. I want you to look at this column first, right? Can I make this column yellow? And can I ask you all just to look at this yellow column first, right? So macro is a bit bigger than micro. So I call this macro. So all these steps, attention, authority, threat, promise, decision, multiple times, right? When you look at all these macros, these are like the big reasons that they want you to go through. When I show you the micro reasons, let me just put the micro and I'll stick that in green just now. When I show you the micro, these are all the things that need to be done to make somebody think like this. So if somebody wants the attention, let's go back to the beginning. If somebody wants the attention, they use certain things. So all these words here, to make it easier, I've done it here, right? So the actual words are here. Oh, so that's a really bad color. I put it in yellow, right? And I'll take that away so you don't get confused. Right. So the actual words, let me just make that a block. Right. So these are the exact words that are in there, that is in the website sign up page of here. Is everybody seeing this as I flip back and forth? Yeah. So can you see I've just taken the words? Now, so right at the beginning, there are many words. AI won't replace you, but someone using it effectively will. So you can call it a hook, you can call it pattern interrupt, right? But basically, it's for attention, right? So in the attention, there's many things you can do to get attention. You can use something like a pattern interrupt. So imagine somebody sticking their hand in front of your face with a stop sign and going, AI is not going to replace you, but somebody learning to use it will. That's kind of can you see that? Like, woof, pattern interrupt. And then that somebody using it effectively will, that's a threat. A threat also is an attention thing. Nobody likes to be threatened. Speed. It's moving at lightning speed. Now, everybody knows this because they're using it. You don't need every tool, every update, and every hack. So it's like, boom, poof. Right, that's fast. Oh, you've got me. Can you see all this is like shock attention? So if we look at them, this is like very quickly. See this just one heading? Can you all see how much work has went into this? So like this whole part here, I'll make it orange, right? Just this alone is this. And this alone is careful engineering. You just say, AI won't replace you. You just see this. I see this. Okay? Does everybody get this before I move on? Can you see how powerful this is? Okay? Now, let me carry on. So let's go through. Now we're going to drop some authority here. So it's presented. Okay, here's all the words and the authority naming, behind the scenes, research, they studied, mechanism, make AI practical, clear, and immediately useful. So where did I get this information from here? So all this, again, is like another section. I mean, I could put it blue. Where did I get these? So the macro, all this information is authority. So that the macro's the bigger meaning. They want to get people's attention and they want to do little things to get the attention. Okay, so the micro is the little things they need to say to get attention. Guys, just so you know, here, if you go format, what I've done here is I've literally wrapped the text so it goes down. If you're thinking, mine doesn't do that. It's just I understand how these sheets work. So I want to get the attention, and these are all the little things I need to do to get the attention. And these are the words I'm using to get the attention. But these words, so can you see we've got macro, micro. Does that make sense? Right, so let's go on. We need to throw some authority out here. So we want to do, as you can see, they've done 4 things for the authority. And these are the things. And then let's go here. They've now done some threats. Ooh. Let's make it a different colour so you can understand the jumps. So that's not a good colour. It's the same as before. There. So there's 2 threats. Someone using it effectively will. You've tried dabbling in AI, but got stuck in overwhelm or wasted hours chasing shiny objects. So all this is a process. And then there's a promise. So let's make that green here. So they wanted promise. So they've decided to do 3 promises. They're going to use an outcome, a little micro outcome. They're going to use a possibility expansion to promise something, and they're going to use some benefit they're going to get to promise. So all this is the little things they need to do to live by that promise. And these are the words that match these. Does that make sense? Okay. And then, oh, look at all the decisions. Okay. Boom. So far, Does everybody understand that they're taking them through lots of different feelings and they're doing multiple different things to make them feel that? You see some people's things online and they might do 5 authority things. They might do, you know, not 10, maybe 6 attention things at the beginning. These are just different micro steps where they think, no, they don't feel like that enough. I need to put in another micro step. But stay with me. I'm now going to swap over to, yep. I'm now going to swap over to somebody else's funnel. Okay, let me just stop sharing this a minute, swap over because it's easier when it's not on my screen. Has anybody got any questions so far or not? Just let me, everybody's shaking their head, go through. Here is somebody else, right, called Barry. She teaches. She works with a lot of mainly all the big gurus in America and other people, and she teaches them people how to put all this together. Basically, how to design the sign up. Okay. Now, when I used to work with the gurus, everything I did was for a reason. These are the reasons, right? So I want to get people's attention. So that word attention there, that's the macro. So that's a big reason, right? It's just on different lines. I want to get the attention. So there's the macros, right? I want to get the attention. What did I do to get the attention? I wanted to like interrupt very quickly, and I'm going to use event framing. So what Barry does in hers is a free virtual event, and she does what's called event framing. She then does an identity call out. If you're still trading hours for dollars and calling it freedom, right? And then she does problem pain. She wants to get their attention, and these are the things she's going to. She wants to get their attention. Here we go. I want to get your attention. These are the words I'm going to say to get your attention. And these are the labels I call these words. Okay? These little labels here are just like micro labels. Okay? Macro's a big label, big reason, big label. So I can do lots of micros to make people feel that macro. Next one, identity call out. You can see here, she just did one. So she's like, who is this for? And then she's went into a macro, which is called problem pain here. And here's the thing she's decided to say. She's decided to do two micros to make them feel this problem pain. Are you trading hours for dollars, calling it freedom? And then she's doing a macro step. She wants people to get the permission. So I'm going to give you access to all this, but let me just show you something here, right? Because I've really broke it down on hers hugely. I've not completely broke it down on Tony and Dean's yet because I wanted just to use one, otherwise your head goes cuckoo. So the macros all in this is all this screen. So these are the psychological states, proven psychological states that people need to be felt before they can sell, buy, sign up. These are psychological states, okay? I'm at 10. Credibility. Okay. So these are just psychological states. These are just big macros. Nothing. And these are all the little things you need to say in order for people to go through these steps. So here are all her words. But what I've written here, look, all this is basically, first they stop them, then they show them, and then we move them. Stop them. What is this? And then we move them. So for my students, I've wrote here, stop writing hooks to cold audiences, over explaining. But this is just a structure. So what structure is it? Again, here's the macros. Attention, identity call out, problem pain. So these are the steps. The macros are just the steps. Let me just stop this here. So the macros are just the steps she wants her audience to feel. The words are just the micro steps. She might say more to show her authority, more to make them feel pain. It depends on like who you're selling to. However, what never changes is the macro steps. So let me just show you something which will hopefully make this okay. Sorry, that didn't share. So before I do this, I'm going to also bring up Cherie's. Cherie is doing a retreat, online event, okay? And again, this is the words she's using in her funnel. And here is the macro steps on the left. So the macro steps, and here is all the little things. So she's doing 1, 2, 3 things to get attention. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you these compared. I don't know if you've seen this, Rachel. So if I opened up, so I've done it all the way to the end, just so you know, Rachel. I'm showing you 3 different sign-up funnels, right? However, what doesn't change? Look at this. Everybody, no matter what they do, at the beginning, they always want to get the attention. Cherie. They get the attention. So here we are. Here's Dane and Tony's. To get the attention, they said this. So let me make them blue. So he wanted to get the attention and then decided to do 4 things to get the attention. Does that make sense? They did 4 things to get the attention. Because we have attention here. Authority, a threat, a purpose, a promise, a decision, Okay, you can see then what they did. They did some desires, mechanisms, some proof, some clarity, some urgency. So these macros are just the psychological states every single funnel does. Barry's funnel, again, she wants the attention. See? Then authority. A threat is very similar to problem pain. A promise is very similar to one promise, promise outcome. An offer introduction is very similar to decision. A value breakdown, I broke it down, called it value breakdown. It's very similar to, again, a decision. The desire, future. Invitation is the mechanism of how it's getting done. Some credibility. Final call to action. There it's called urgency. These macro steps is the journey. Some of them are just called different words. You know, they call it a threat. I've called it a threat there because it's like a big threat statement. But basically, it's like the problem pain. So the macro steps, if you took even Barry's macro steps and goes, okay, I'm going to write 10 macro steps, and these are the steps I must go through always. But you need to remember, guys, you just took this into AI. You're not going to, this is,
Just to interrupt, I need to go now because I'm teaching in 10 minutes, but it's helped clarify everything. Thank you. And I'll rewatch afterwards, or I'll jump back in an hour's
yeah,
time.
you want to rewatch this, Rachel, because we're going to
Yes, I
go in
do.
deeper. Okay, enjoy your
Okay.
teaching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, guys, I want to show you, I want to move over, right? I'll explain the traffic in a minute. I want to move over to Cherie, right? The macro steps, the attention, the authority, the threat, the promise, it's the decision, the know safe, the problem, desire, mechanism, proof, invitation, urgency. Can everybody see it is 99% identical, the macro steps? Some I've just kind of labeled them as similar-ish, different, just because of the statement. Does that make sense? So if you could take this and go, if I'm going to do a one-page sign up and get people to sign up, they need to go through these psychological states. And when you go to buy a house, buy a car, whatever, everything that comes out of their mouth is to take you through those macro steps. Okay? Everything to sign up for something online is to take you through those macro steps. Right? So this is a sign up step. There's multiple different sequences. So those macro steps are just the steps of the psychological big chunks. You need to feel like this, like this, like this. Sometimes, depending on your experience, imagine before AI. So when you see things say A/B split testing, has anybody ever seen an advert to sign up for something? Right? So I guarantee you, if you go in to say like the Tony Robbins Dean Graciosa AI Summit and you click on it in your Facebook and don't sign up, you will see that advert again, but a bit different. Okay? You'll see it a bit different because they might put more micro steps. They've already got your attention before, but maybe it didn't hit you enough. If you never signed up on the first click, all this algorithm's going, oh, Okay, somebody didn't sign up on the first click. Somebody got down to this and then clicked off. There's so much going on behind the scenes. The next time that goes in front of their face, if they clicked off at the problem bit, then we need to put in more micro bits for them to hit hard. Does that make sense? So all this is just a bunch of information to take people through psychological steps. And this first came out 98 years ago. And it's not changed. I read all this. That's why I love Russell Brunson, because he reads all this as well. Okay? I'm obsessed with this stuff. This is psychological stuff. And when you look at everything, the news, everything, they want you to feel like this. They need to go through this to make you feel like this. If this is a big jump, then I need to really do lots of micro steps on the pain. Okay? And I remember when I first started explaining a little bit of this, I think, Hannah, you were online and you went, oh my God, everybody's been brainwashing me. Yes. Okay. Now, let me just share this a minute to go through a couple of more things. Let me go up. So the Cherie, right? What I've done here is their exact words, and I've done what she's trying to do, right? But I haven't done it here. I wanted just to do it with one. So does everybody understand? The macro is the psychological steps, and the micro is they decided to do 4 micro things to get attention. I've just named them. And Barry on hers, she decided to do, hold on, attention, dun, dun, dun. She decided to also do 4 things to get attention. I've just named those 4 things. So they did 4 things to get attention. I call it micro. And here's the words they done. So they're really getting the attention. Now, what is really important here? Barry, just so you know, she sent this funnel through email. Tony and Dean has their funnel live on the internet. So they're worded a bit different, right? Tony and Dean is to cold traffic. So that's why if you, I'm going to put this because this sits in my private chat, I'm going to put this up in your academy. When you sit and look at this and you'll be like, boom, why did they really bang, bang, bang into this? Well, Tony and Dean did because it's cold traffic. They're doing it to people. So an advert should go to cold traffic, right? Barry did it to a warm audience. Cherie's, the retreat funnel sign up, similar to what Richard's going to be doing, that's done to a warm, emotional audience, even though it was an advert. Why? Because she uses emotional selling techniques because her audience is full of spiritual people. People teaching meditation, people teaching yoga, healers, psychics. That is her audience. Okay, so that is why hers is worded like this. Guys, anybody who's just came in, you really want to watch this from the beginning, okay? Because it'll clarify lots of funnel sign up things. So we all know that Tony and Dean did it for cold. I've now told you Barry did it for warm because it only came through the email, right? So this was on Facebook ad. This was on email. This was on Facebook ad, but profile, but private group also. Now, when you go here, the state of the audience, right? Tony and Dean's were written for an audience. They do not know you. So their goal, they wanted to get attention and stop them scrolling. And how they did that, they interrupted and shifted the belief fast. Okay? And their tone was very direct, fast, and dominant. And they done emotional triggers, fear of missing out. And their opening style was big threats. The problem is hit the problem hard immediately. And what they done, they repeated things aggressively. They were very strong and dominant, and they pushed quickly to get you to. And the big risk, if that you misuse this, if you're too aggressive, if the audience already trusts you, people, they're big names. Cold needs an interruption. What's that? A slap in the face. When you're going, so it's simple. Tony gets attention. He can afford to go and slap people in the face. Because that's what he's selling. But would I go that aggressively if I'm trying to think some of the people I work with. If I would go that aggressively, there's okay, there's a coach I know who helps women from alcoholic husbands. Okay, and there's other women who help people who are abused, and they're very into one sign-up funnels. Why? Because they have sign-up funnels to their recorded masterclass. I know some people who never go live. They went live a couple of times, too much stress, and they send people to recordings all the time, but they still use sign-ups. Or they speak the sign-ups in groups. People are different. But can you see, if I was going to get somebody to sign up for something that was emotional, I might need to lean on the Barry Sherry order, not the slap somebody in the face and constantly bombard, boom, 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 boom. That's make sense? But even though the order of the macros are the same, what you do inside them can be strong or warm and emotional. Does that make sense? So, before I open this up, let me just go to, so Barry, she only came through email. So people already know her. And this is the same as a Facebook group, right? So they already know her. So she can already move them from interest to a decision. That's why I love groups, because I know people who've been in groups, they're lucky they've got one like, two likes. But oh my goodness, what they get from going live once a week and their funnel sign-ups and the recordings that sit in the files in the groups. Why? Because they don't stop. They just keep filling the groups full of the ideal clients. Why? They can do that at everybody once a month. It's a lot cheaper than paying Mark Zuckerberg money. Okay, it really is. So convert existing attention into action. So Barry, so this is like in the group, already have attention into action. So if I was going to develop a new product and I wanted to sell it to you, do I need to go through all the hard-hitting authority on the Tony and Dean funnel? No. So I could remove that authority part from my funnel if I wanted to sell you something. Yes or no? The authority you see it always hit 4 times. I would remove 3 and do once, just to remind you why I'm still in the authority, but I'm the authority over what I'm trying to sell you. I would have done it once. I wouldn't have hit you 4 times. Make sense? So can you now see I could constantly develop products and sell to you every month? Can you now see why people in masterminds keep paying? Because of the trust. It's one of the parts I don't like. Because I know exactly how to sell to you again and again and again and again and again and get your credit card out. John, do you remember we did this last year and you wanted to buy from me? Remember? You were like, I'll buy from you now. So, I have given you a complete, and I'll put this up for you, a complete breakdown of them compared, right? And the compared one's the best one to use because I think I missed out a couple of labels on the other ones. So let me just go very quickly. You can see one's a cold audience, one's to warm, and one's a kind of in between. So Tony wants people, strangers, to stop and buy. That is what Tony and Dean are doing with this. Does that make sense? This is to stop strangers and buy. The people who already know him, it's going to talk to you anyway. Barry, it's written for a warm audience. It came through her email. So she already has a following. It would be the same stuff if you put this on your group. They already know you from a Facebook group, and the whole thing is to move them from interest to decision. That's why it's really easy. If you feed a Facebook group, your life after 6 months to a year can be totally different because it's full of interested people. Otherwise, they would never be there. You don't want to put the organic work in? Then you would run an ad if you're not going to do it organically. So convert existing attention into action. Do I need to work organically to build anything in I'm going to use Gavin and myself, in our walking group? No, because 27 million people look at it a year now. It is full of people. And I turned it into, in the original days, a gossip group. Why? To make them talk so I didn't need to. That took work. Nearly a year of work. I didn't stop because I knew what I wanted to do. Will I ever be paying Mark Zuckerberg any money to advertise any of the travel booking sites that are getting built, any of the ebooks or AI bots we're going to build? Will I be paying any money for ads? Right? Because my audience is bigger than what any ad can go and give me now. Why? I turned it into a gossip group. And everything in my early academy days tells you exactly how I did it. Okay. Now, let's go back. So you can see Tony and Dean, Barry, warm audience, cold audience, but the macros are the same. Cherie, again, she has her kind of emotional and warm. Yes, she's running an ad, but she's running an ad. I'm going to put, yes, she runs an ad. Actually, I'm not going to put that there. I'm going to put it here because it explains it. Yes, she runs an ad, but her audience are an emotional audience. Okay? So Tony is getting strangers to stop. Barry is getting followers to buy, right? And here at the end, what I've done is I've broke down Cherie's. Now I don't need to go and open up that page because you've got like her exact words here. These days, retreats aren't a luxury, they're a lifeline. So again, so what I've done here, I've done what she's trying to do. So this is before I finish this teaching and open up to questions. Here's the macros. That's just the belief shift, the belief, the psychological things you want to go through. So position retreats as urgent and relevant in a world overwhelmed by AI and disconnection, right? This is what I will be doing on her. I think I'm doing for Rachel too. Basically, we're taking all these three, and these are what I want them to do at each point, right? So let me just put that in there. What I want to do for Rachel. It's not hers. Okay. So then there's again attention, but they got them emotionally. Let me just format that. Sorry, format, wrapping, wrap. There you go. So again, it's a macro to get attention. And she did this. We're entering an era where online doesn't automatically mean true. So I want to, at that point, make retreats feel like the antidote to fake online experiences. So guys, I've written this part here because I know how I want people to feel. But here she is. Again, she's still in the attention. Testimonials can be generated, blah, blah, blah. So basically, all this here, right? It's just a system. Everything here is to build trust, right? It's just a complete system of psychological processes. But this is the actual AI summit right now that Tony and Dean are doing. So I've been reversing adverts, wording, sales my whole life. This is why I worked for the gurus for so long, and everything is the same. What do I want them to feel to get to what I want them to do? I want them to buy from me. I need to take them through the macro steps. I want them to sign up. I need to take them through macro steps. I want them to do something. I need to take them through macro steps. Everybody's macro step funnel in what I've showed you now are 90% identical. Can you see that? But all the micro step labels, each one will do certain things to make them feel. So if you want the attentions, you can see most of them have done 4 things to get the attention. You could copy and paste this into AI with your offer, with what you want them to sign up for, and it will give you something. I would use Chat and Claude for this. Okay? If you're paying for one, just pay for one. Claude will run out quickly, but that's okay. I do this with multiple different, let me just open up very quickly. I do this with every business, whether it was a hotel, whether it's a coach, whether it was a bar, whether it was a shop. Okay, I had a friend who used to work in car sales. She got bored working as a cook and ended up in car sales. She went back actually to being a cook. She's smashed it. This was about 20 years ago. Because I says to her, it doesn't matter. You need to take them through macro steps, at least 7. And make sure if you want them to do each macro step, do a minimum of 3 little things. And that's how I used to teach this 20 years ago. Each macro step, do 3 things. Now I have technology. Now I have my whole prompts and my whole brain. So I can literally go into any funnel, any advert, and excuse my language, I can rip the arse out of it. Okay? So, where does this come in for you lot? There are multiple ways to make money online. People who want to sell a course or sell coaching, the amount of people who make money through running events online is huge. I have people in my circle who don't even go live anymore. They run multiple funnels through multiple ads, multiple groups they run online to their recordings. And their courses and coaching is recordings. I know people don't even go live. People who work LinkedIn aggressively and have the same group in Facebook, have a Telegram group as well, run a Reddit Substack. Why? Just in case one went missing. Guys, that's a lot of work. To do that, you want to be using as much sophisticated software to automatically post that out everywhere for you. But imagine if you just want to get people to sign up. Now, did everybody see the other day? I don't think she's on. Did everybody see the other day what I did? I said to Catherine online. Catherine had she followed everything, and then boom, got somebody to call her straight away by following the system. Did you see what was missed? Because I even says in our private group, on our private messenger chat, please go in and see my comments in the HQ group to Catherine. And I think I've done 2 now. Did anybody read them? Yeah? Lindsay, what did you learn from them? Everybody should, when I do this, guys, you really should read them because it's stopping you making a mistake. Lindsay, what step was missing? Do you remember? No. Catherine got somebody on a call. She did everything perfect, but the person on the call had never read a website. Okay, you got no website, had never seen a recording of a masterclass. Okay, you've not got a recording, had never attended a live event. Okay, I don't have that. Had never been sent a PDF document explaining what we do. Had never, it doesn't matter. Somebody got on a call and Catherine had to reteach. You don't get somebody on a call to teach. You get somebody on a call who's been taken through a process, a sequence, just like I've showed you. And you have the masterclass in a sequence, or you create a PDF in a sequence. So that person comes on that call because they need the map. You know, they need the Google map to get them. They want that outcome. So they're not on the call to be retaught. So think about it. Does that make sense? They had to have information before they got there. Otherwise, you're driving yourself crazy. But she chose to there's multiple ways to work. So this sign-up funnel, right? This, you can interchange this, but you can never change the macros. And I have watched some funnels fail. I have watched new groups get set up by some of the big gurus, and I've went bang. Okay, let me see their funnel. And I've watched the group got like 50 people in a day. And for people who have millions, there's a mistake somewhere. That should be growing at hundreds an hour. Does that make sense? Because I know the money has went behind it. And then I've seen in 24 hours that ad go down and a new one come up. And I've watched them sometimes just add in one micro step. Why? Because nobody was signing up. I've watched them put in one more. We had to hit that problem again. It wasn't tough. And people have spent millions on this. This is what goes on. I'm giving it to you on a plate. Now, what I've just shown you does not even take place in a 25K mastermind in the States. Doesn't. You will get the macros and you will be offered somebody to build it with you. Give you another 10, sell again, another 10 grand. So where does this come in? Can you see that I'm trying to make it simple for people. Imagine you just had a recording sitting in files in your Facebook group or school group or Telegram or wherever you had it. Your LinkedIn, wherever. You could easily create this one pager, and that could sit so they could link straight away. So anybody that comes to your profile is constantly sent here. And you have enough space to put 2 URLs. So you might remove the I help dun dun. You might just have your banner and you might have a link to maybe you do your 21 videos so they can buy them. And you've got enough room for a second link. You might do the second link straight to your sign up funnel. And that could be for free, could be for something they buy. If you want to, for the people who want to coach online, send it straight to a training. And then if they book a call, if you do a thing with the calendar, say, okay, fill this in. And I think what I said to Catherine as well on that thread, I said, ask them some questions like, would you say you were A, B, or C? Because people can't answer it if they have not watched the training, even if it was only 7 minutes of training. You know, you don't want to be over 50, but even if it was only small, if they could not answer the questions, why do I want them on the call? Do I want to bust my arse trying to sell to somebody? I don't want to sell to anybody. Do they want to do it? Do they want this outcome? I have what they want. You need to have what your people want, but do not get anybody on a call. They already should know what you do. And for the people who don't want people on a call, people can go from that sign up to a free mini training. And inside that, they're sold something that also sells digitally, remotely in the world. I know people who don't even teach live anymore. Everything's recorded. I know people who coach. But it doesn't matter what path you choose. If you chose a funnel, which can be a one-pager, do you now understand it's a whole psychological process? And one of the most amazing things I would say is build yourself at least a one-pager. Now, you can end up down what I call a rabbit hole with this, okay? So before I open up to some questions, let me just show you something. So let me just share this very quickly. I'm going into our academy. The first one, old, I'm going to go to miscellaneous. And this is where I've done some stuff for people. Rachel, funnels. If anybody wants to see, so there's generic understanding the order. I already have this in here. Okay, so This is in Rachel's folder, which is, you've just seen me go through where it is. It's in miscellaneous. And so macro, what they must believe. Micro, what you say to make them believe it. And I call it like lucky seven. What are these lucky sevens? So I'm in the, guys, if you're ever in like Excel or Google Sheets, look at the bottom. There's lots of different pages, right? Look at that. I've called that AI slop. Um, so look, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So there's seven, and then there's floating. So here, the lucky seven, these are the main macros with a little micros. How many times? You could just do this for the rest of your life. These floating ones are ones I used to do when I worked with the gurus because of like the sign up's not quick enough. So I had to go deeper because I was obsessed. So can you see the attention? Make them stop, part and interrupt, make a big threat statement, make this speed and make them feel a bit overwhelmed. It's naughty. It's life. But you can also do this with love. And you can see that from the Barry and the Sherry one. And so basically, macros is big psychological shifts. Attention, authority, problem, desire, how it's going to do it. And here, it's just, this is lots and lots of information, but it can overwhelm you. Basically, it's this. All I've done, because I can go into this multiple layers. So what am I doing with Rachel? I've built funnel banks. Funnel bank one, funnel bank two. Let me just go to funnel bank one. So I should actually say macro. So this is all different types of macros. Promises, authority, threat, attention. I should actually put that in order. Decision, safety. So here was like 7 macros, right? So, and here's all different types of micro statements. And this, so what am I doing here? Using the brain to build the funnel. Use the human brain to build the funnel rather than AI. I like both. Does that make sense, what I've done here? I've built a funnel bank. Here's another funnel bank here where it's got the promise, authorities. I've just done it separate, just different funnel banks. So I can pull from each one to make like the perfect funnel. And you've got one here that says Nicola playing. This would probably confuse the hell out of you if you went in this. But I'm this obsessed, and this is like AI slop. We've got like multiple, where's this one? Did it awareness genetic. So here is one where I've done I've taken somebody's funnel, Cherie, the sign up one, everything. This is everything she says in yellow. What I've done here is I've just done macros here on mainly macros here on the left. And what I've done is I've done lots of different drafts of it, playing with AI. Elevated version, this is K&H's Dan Kennedy, Gary Halbert. You probably never heard of Gary Halbert. He's another older person, okay, who's like responsible for direct response and stuff. So, because I have all these formulas, right? So here's like multiple different like formulas, multiple different examples, multiple, like multiple and why, and I've locked it down. So that's like cuckoo brain stuff. but it's just 7 steps. And this is when you see everything that goes on online. It's there for a reason. So who's going to build a one-pager? Because I'm done. Whose head's wrecked? This is proper advanced stuff. But as you can see it, you could literally just like copy this, stick it into AI, and you would get yourself. But I need to use my brain because it's still a brain that's going to sign up. So this is why I could use the systems I've got there. I could go on Facebook, I go on LinkedIn and go, okay, I'm opening this avatar. I want to sell this program, right? I want to sell this program. Who else is selling a program similar? Okay, find this is what they are doing. What makes me better? Why should they choose me? So now I've got my offer, my program, why they should choose me. Do I want to coach? Nah, I'm just going to record 6 videos and sell it. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. They're going to sit there. I'm going to do multiple different funnels, multiple different times of the year to get people to buy this. I choose somebody that's done it. I reverse that whole process. I constantly reverse that whole process. I have all these. I might do a funnel every month, change it ever so slightly. Why? Because you have people who watch for months and then all of a sudden you end up, I've had some people and they're just like, I've just got 25 grand in my bank account and every single person's been watching me for 9 months on that group. It's madness. That's why I love groups because I've seen firsthand of people sitting watching and going, they just look, they don't even like anything. So can you see you can get people to do whatever you want them to do? And as I say, all this, I think it was about 98 years ago, all this started when it was documented and the stuff from Einstein that to get people to do what you want them to do, the brain must go through psychological processes. They're called macros in I name them macros. And if people are not doing what I want them to do, then I need to do more attention. I need to make them feel more pain. So that might be 4 lines, 4 micro steps inside that. People didn't sign up, they were reading it, and I paid for this ad, and they always get to this point in the screen and they sign off because there's technology that can read all that now. So if they're signing off at that point, then I need to fix above it. Does that make sense? Because they never got to read the rest. You don't even need to think, guys. I've just shown you a complete reverse engineer of the richest guys in the world. Teresa, what do you think?
I'm mind blown that you go into that sort of detail, and I'm fascinated by it at the same time. I mean, I want to be able to learn it in depth like that. Um, I I can see why people charge online the money that they charge to be in those groups where they teach that kind of level, because it does take a lot of work, and you're going really, really deep. And so yeah, my mind is filled right now.
However, you could
But I
copy
can
and
see,
paste this.
yeah, absolutely. And I
You
can
could,
see, I mean, it's clear to me how it comes together. It's just you've examined it in such detail and
I'm
gone
a
in so
geek.
deep
Okay, I'm a
that
geek. I'm a geek.
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a geek in
Mm,
other areas, but
yeah.
I'm fascinated with the psychological part of it. And so it's very interesting to me, and I'm anxious to put it into practice, but to do it in a way that's still logical for me and that works for me, and not to get too crazy, with it.
It's
Um,
just 7 steps,
yeah,
7 macros.
yeah. But I can see, I mean, what you're talking about groups that charge this, and then they charge more, and they charge more, and they charge more. I've seen groups like that out there, and yeah, I can see why, because it really it does work. It works. I mean, the AI summit thing, I've got those emails in my email box, you know, I've seen them. Um, so it's kind of a neat thing to take it apart live like you've done and to watch that.
Guys, and this can never be shared, eh? Because this is, I've just stripped Tony Robbins' live AI summit to
He's naked right now. He's
he's,
totally
he's
naked in front of all
naked.
of us.
He's naked, okay?
Yeah.
And the this is deep enough. I could go 2 levels more, but you don't need it. Okay? Nadi's like, you're joking. Why would I go 2 levels more? Get yourself to 100,000 a year. Then I'll show you 2 levels more. Then I will manipulate the micros. Okay? Why? Because then you're going to be selling to people with more money. So we need to do certain things. However, 99% of what you see out there is this. So just so again, this is in Rachel's folder. But you can see like AI slop. There's nothing hidden here. And this funnel bank, why do I build the funnel bank? Because I like seeing what AI slop I call it gives me. I also like to go right here are all there's a macro, next macro, next macro. I like to build my signups with my brain. AI can give me like you can see the ones there. I think I've got like 30 different sign-ups. And like I was on to Rachel and she's like, Nicola, oh my God. And I was like, I hate them all. You know? Like people could say, well, why do you hate them all? Because AI can only go that far. Even in my own like AI brain, I know the attention I want. But guys, can you say you don't need to be geeky like me? You literally like could copy and paste. And everything is the same. Everything. So stop trying to change what started and was documented 98 years ago. And you can go in and read about Einstein and how everything's came through. Stop trying to change it. The humans need to go through steps. I called them Lucky Seven in the one I've done there for Rachel. And to make them feel each step, sometimes you need to put in more micro steps. If people didn't sign up enough, you think, okay, and if you didn't pay for ads and you don't really know, then you need to play. Where do you think it went wrong? I remember in one of the inner circle ones, I remember Russell flew over to see Dean, okay? I'm very careful what I say here, through respect. Russell flew over to see Dean. They changed, I think, one thing in a funnel, and the sign-up rate went, I think, like 70% more. What did they change? They put in another micro step. They just didn't, they were losing it at one point. When they were paying for ads, they were seeing, okay, they're losing it here. So they could tell roughly how long they were assuming people were spending, say it took me, on average, it's taken people 30 seconds to read a funnel, right? No, because you can have sign up here, then See when you see it goes sign up here and then you can read some more. That is, when you read some more, that's because you haven't been convinced enough. So you need more. You need more macros. You need to go through the macro steps more. The further you go down the funnel, the more convincing you need. Make sense? The more steps. Yeah, go. Just
A
button.
question.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, that particular case, how are they figuring out at what point the macro?
Okay, so there's multiple different things that go on, like in the advert world, you know, they have times, there's systems where they know how far. I was in one
And
group
visually
the
where
other
your
day.
eyes go.
There was one group like, well, they roughly spent this amount of time, or we're getting to there. There's so much sophistication out there now of how long did they spend on it, so they must have got to this point, you know. Um, because like if you ever opened an advert on Facebook and you've read the whole funnel,
Mhm.
you didn't buy or you didn't sign up, but then you've seen it again and it looked a bit different, okay? Because you've already seen it. So if you've already seen it and you've already like got to the end or whatever, but if you've already seen it, they're not going to show you the same advert again. They are. They're just going to mix the sequence of macros. They got your attention before, they might get your attention again, but only do two things. They might have more pain points in there because you didn't sign up again. You didn't sign up, so if they're going to show you the advert again, they show you it in a slightly different sequence, but maybe touched more pain. And if you go to the third point, there's a reason why you have not signed up. So everybody sits around a room and we'd sit around boardrooms and go, right. They seen it then, they didn't sign up. They seen it then, they didn't sign up. Why wouldn't you sign up? Why wouldn't you sign up? Well, it never made me feel like this. Okay, that needs to go in. How do you think all the surveys in the street worked? Because somebody was being nice and kind and wanted to do a survey? Multi-million marketing to take data back. And I've just given it to you on a plate. Might you do one funnel sometimes and it might not give you what you want? And you might think, I need to put in another pain step. Yes. But imagine when you learn what works for your audience. So, like, if I was going to put a funnel in our walking group, right? So, imagine me and Gavin, I'm going to put a funnel in our walking group. Are we going to throw in that funnel? You know, I am Nicola J Scotland, award winner, no, of the gurus, and they're going to be like, get yourself. All we want to do is walk through the goddamn forest and not get bit with midges and stung with ticks and God knows what in the Scottish Highlands. They don't give a rat's, excuse my language, arse about my authority. So does that part, do I need to authority hit that? No. So the product I was trying to get them to buy should have at least an authority line, not me. Because that authority is not needed for that audience. Does that make sense? If I develop something and want you to buy it, am I going to hit you 4 times with my authority? No, you already know me. Make sense? So yeah, there's multiple ways, but can you see how people sell um, high ticket products online, high ticket products face to face? How people can go into a car showroom and buy. Okay. Can you see how once we had conversations, John, you remember this from last year, how even the wording of what you're trying to sell on eBay, Etsy, if you word it in sequences, then it's taking them through. If you get a bit obsessed with me, go into Amazon, see who's selling more, see the descriptions. I'm a bit sad like this. Okay. What's sold more today? What's the bestseller? So if everything's a process, and as I said, it was 98 years ago that all this like came out, everything's a process. The human being must go through a process. Everything you see is engineered now. The news, everything you see. So use this information ethically. Now, I teach you all this, everything there with the systems, posting and everything. But now you should see, don't just go, as I call it, willy-nilly. Go into the academy again at the beginning and understand. I am going to show you something very, very quickly. Yep, let me just share this. So let me go back so you know where I've gone. Literally Business Academy, and not the one I'm rebuilding this year. Old zero into zero. Understand your customer journey. Awareness is a macro. These are all the things, the micro things to make them believe that. Curiosity, that's a macro. These are the micro things you need to do. So this is the journey of a lot of people. That how, think of like, understanding your customer. The customer, go back and have a read through this. I might go back and update that because things are always updated. So the customer has a journey. And if you want to sell something for a high price or a low price or whatever, when you sell something for a low ticket price, that journey can be much smaller because it's a $7 buy. But when people go, people are not signing up, why they're not doing that? It's like, so some of the things in Asia, like I can have one like fitness camp side to me. Nicola, I know you're working with like all the camps on private. I don't put nothing on like about this because I don't want bombarded with it. I'm doing what they do. Why are they getting the sign-ups and I'm not? And I'm like, you think you're doing what they do, but you're not. Oh, Nicola, tell me, 5 grand. I'll work with you for 1 month for 5 grand. Oh, come on, tell me something. Here's the link to pay. Honestly, I'm really brutal, in that world. I mean, you now understand how I could do this every week and end up with thousands and thousands of people in my coaching academy. And I don't. Because I genuinely wanted to help a small group of people do this because I find this so easy. Who else has so what I'm going to do, guys, because this is like a long recording, I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to go to open chat because people need to come and see this on record. But before I go anything, Candice,